One of my favorite blush releases so far this year has been the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Matte Bouncy Blush, which is one of these sort of putty style blushes. So when I saw that Glossier was launching a blush that looked to me to be that same sort of style, I knew immediately, like, I'm going to buy this. Today, we are going to play with that blush. It is called the Glossier Cloud Paint Plush Blush. I also picked up the specialized cheek brush that is designed specifically for the two cloud paint blushes. And then I am going to pull out some other blushes and we are going to do some comparisons. So if all of that sounds good to you, let's get into the details about this new Glossier blush and brush. All right, guys, the Glossier Cloud Paint Plush Blush comes in this cute little packaging. This blush retails for $26 for 0.2 ounces. This is available in 10 shades, and I got the shade Soar, which is a bright pink. I picked this shade because I don't have a shade like this in my collection, and if I am going to keep buying blush after blush after blush, I am at least going to make sure that I have got every shade in the rainbow in my drawer. Now, this blush is described as an innovative blush with a one-of-a-kind, pillowy soft texture that delivers long-wearing, buildable, soft matte color while blurring the look of pores. So we're going to find out, is it one of a kind? As I mentioned, it looks to me a lot like this blush from Rare Beauty. I am really excited to get this onto the cheeks. I will have to use a light hand, which if you've been watching me, you know that could be difficult for me. I also got the special brush that was designed for this new plush blush. This is the Glossier Cloud Paint Dual-Ended Cheek Brush, and this retails for $25. It has two sides, hence dual-ended. Duh. So on one side, it has a retractable, tapered synthetic brush for blending the Cloud Paint Plush Blush, or really any powder blush. And then on the other, it has this soft, non-absorbent silicone tip that is designed to mimic your fingertips and is perfect for blending out the original Cloud Paint blush or any liquid blush. Let me back up just a little bit. If you aren't familiar with the original Cloud Paint blush, that is a gel cream blush. It comes in sort of this art supply type tube, almost like an oil paint. I have tried these before. At one point, I had two shades. I had just had them for so long that I felt it best to declutter them, but I did really enjoy those products. I love the way they perform, just this really beautiful sort of wash of color, and they were much easier to work with than what you might anticipate. So today, we are going to apply the new Plush Blush with this brush. Let me go ahead and take the glasses off so we can get into that. I am going to apply just to one side right now. I am going to start out by dabbing this on with the silicone tip. Supposedly it's like your fingertips, and you can apply this with your fingertips. So I just want to see, can you use this to dab this on instead of your fingertips? And then I'm going to attempt to blend it out with the brush. So let's go ahead and do that. This may or may not pick this up, guys. I really don't know. Okay, so you can see it did pick up a little bit of color there. I am wearing the Glossier Stretch Foundation today, as well as the Glossier Stretch Concealer, because I just wanted to kind of keep it in the family, so to speak. So let's dot this on. Just want to kind of see. Okay, this does not feel as weird as I was worried that it would. I really was like, is it going to drag across my face? Is it going to like stick? And it's not. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so you can see there I was able to blend that out with the fingertip side of this. Let's now take the brush and see if I can blend that out further. Also kind of getting a sense of how quickly this sort of sets down as it does go to more of a powdery texture. Okay, I feel like that looks really, really natural. And you can definitely tell the difference between the blushed side and the non-blushed side. I now am going to try picking up with the brush to sort of build up, I think, a little bit right here. So let's see how well that picks up. So you can see there, I can tell that it's on the brush. I don't want to overdo it. So sort of stippling in. I am going to go all the way back to the hairline since I am wearing my hair up in a ponytail. I don't know why. It was just like playing with this fun blush. I just was like, I want to be in a bouncy ponytail. Like it just felt right. While I'm blending this out, if you can hear screaming in the background, no act of real violence is occurring at my house. My son is gaming with his friends. I told him like 3 times before I got on to film, honey, I need you to be quiet. I need you to be quiet. I need you to be quiet. Please don't scream. And he has forgotten himself. So if you hear screaming, that's what it is. A gaming teenager. Oh, Lord. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So that is what we are looking like right now. And I'm trying to decide if I want to build this up a little bit more. So, I mean, this is a bright pink. Let me pick up a little bit more on the brush here. I want to make sure you guys can really see the color here. I was very interested in getting the lightest shade, which I think is called Puff. I'm not entirely certain, but okay, now I've gone too far. Okay, now I've gone too far. But there was also a shade that looks sort of like peachy toasted, and I was interested in that one as well. But again, I just felt like, given the size of my blush collection, that I needed to pick something up that is different than what I have, and I think this is. Now that I've got that on, using this brush, as I have said on my channel before, I don't think you should have to buy a brand's special tools in order to make their products work. And so I am going to take one of my favorite cream blush brushes, my BK Beauty 109, and I'm going to apply this product on the other side so you can see how it works with a different cheek brush. Let's just tap in. And it is possible that because of the nature of this brush that it just picked up a lot more pigment. So in this case, I am going to tap it a little bit on the back of my hand. And now just going in with this. Easy, easy, easy. At least right now, I am putting this in the goof-proof category, even though I know I have a lot of blush on, guys, but I'm trying to show you guys the color, okay? And we can always do the tone down with powder, but I think you saw how easily that went on. And of course, if you got a more neutral shade, you wouldn't have to worry about being quite so vibrant. I am going to powder in just a moment. You know, guys, as I'm sitting here, I think I like it more with the BK Beauty brush. So if you already have this, you may not need the little fun brush. Now, I just want to see if this blush really feels like some of these other blushes in my collection that I thought it might be similar to. So this does not, well, okay, I was about to say that it does not feel as putty-like, but hopefully you can see there that it did make a little depression there. So it is, I think, one of these putty style blushes. Now, is it as putty-ish as the Rare Beauty? I don't think so. I think this formula is a little bit creamier and softer. Hold on, I'm just kind of trying to get a sense of it in terms of the sensation. Yeah, I would say this Glossier blush feels more powdery, to the touch than the Rare Beauty does. Now, I also have to compare the way this feels to this Half Magic blush that I picked up recently and absolutely love. It is in this color that I know for many people would be really, really scary. I absolutely love this blush and it goes on beautifully, guys. If you didn't see my review of a bunch of products from Half Magic Beauty, I will put a link in the description box because I was really blown away by those products. So I don't even have to put a finger in this. I think you can see, that I already did that test, right? So I've already put a finger in there, but I do want to kind of see how it feels to the touch. Hold on, I feel like I need to do all three at one time. This is how we get really scientific here. Just for comparison, by the way, there are those three shades, but I would say that these two feel a lot creamier, a lot more like putty than this Glossier does. So this Glossier may be a little bit more sort of in the middle between one of these putty style blushes and a true like powder blush. So let's get back to just the Glossier blush now. One of the claims was that it is blurring. Where I am looking in a mirror over here close up, where the blush is sort of laid down in its largest concentration, things do look a little bit more blurred out. I do feel like, again, this side just looks better. Guys, BK Beauty for the win. BK Beauty for the win. Okay, but let's do a little bit of powder to sort of pull back the edges a little bit, get this blend a little bit nicer, and to see how it looks is more of just sort of a finished look. I am trying to decide what powder to use here. I am going to go ahead and use my OG Givenchy Prism Libre, even though you guys can't get it. I feel like I've got to use this powder up. That is still very blushy. This is also a BK Beauty brush. If you don't know, this is the Precision Powder brush, which I really love. Yeah, that side looks way more perfected. I mean, look, BK Beauty brushes is what they do, right? I don't necessarily think of that as a Glossier specialty. Now that I've powdered, obviously, things are even more sort of perfected and blurred out. I do want to sort of bring my face back to life a little bit, and so I am going to use my original Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I am testing a whole bunch of setting sprays right now, but I just feel like this is the one for what I've got going on right now. So let's do that. I dropped my special fan, aka piece of cardboard, on the ground, so I'm using just a piece of paper, you know, just whatever. Okay, and you guys, I was so thrilled to know that I am not the only one who does this, okay? So thank you to those of you who dropped into the comments of one of my recent videos to share with me that you also do setting spray and then just like hold your lashes up like this, because hello, that's gonna help them stand up and look more fabulous. Let me give you a close-up look of what we have going on here. So this is really a lot of Glossier products on the face, the foundation, the concealer, and of course this newest blush release, the Plush blush. I think it is really, really pretty. I am going to continue to play with it, obviously. I kind of want to get into maybe doing some blush layering where I'm taking a shade maybe that's a little more vibrant and maybe one that is a little bit more subdued to sort of, again, get more of a gradient sort of effect with my blush. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have enjoyed this little blush adventure. And if you did, I hope you will give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel a lot. And if you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.